What's going on, guys? Brian back here once again for another Is It Good review, and it's time to do the review for ReCore, which was released last month back in September. And ReCore is an action-adventure platforming game and set in an open world from a third-person's perspective. So this game is quite a bit fun, albeit, I don't know, we'll get into it. So anyway, this is the opening screen, and this game is only available on the Xbox One and Windows 10 PC. This is actually the first game in Xbox's Play Anywhere initiative, which allows you to play, if you buy it once, whether it's on Xbox or PC, you can play on the other console or whatever. So for instance, I had this on Xbox One, so meaning that I can also log in on my Windows 10 PC and play it on there as well, no matter where I leave off from. So like if I'm in the middle of a game and I save it, I can go back to my PC and play right where I left off from. So ReCore has you playing as Joel Adams, and you have some companions that are called core bots. First one you start off with is the dog right there, whose name is Mac, and basically there is some puzzle solving. It's heavy on combat, and things like that. Now the game was developed by creator Keiji Anafune, which was the who founded the Concept, and Keiji Anafune used to work at Capcom, who helped create games like Metroid Prime 3, Corruption, Mega Man X series, and things like that. Yes, Concept also created Mighty Number 9, which was kind of pretty bad. Anyway, which is basically a Mega Man rip-off. But anyway, so the game, and you're going to see here, I'm going to load up into what's called Joel's Crawler. The game is very action-heavy, puzzle-solving heavy. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Banjo-Kazooie in the sense where you have to collect these things called these prismatic cores. So it's kind of like in Banjo-Kazooie collecting the Jiggies, where you have to have so many Jiggies, or in this case, prismatic cores, to unlock certain areas of the game. So here, this is Joel's Crawler. You can see I have the 3 robot companions that you can unlock in the game. There's another one later in the game, but I won't spoil it for you. This is what you're seeing here, kind of off to the right, is Joel's workbench, which when you collect certain scrap parts in the game, overworld game, you can come here to the workbench and you can help, research blueprints for each of your companions, things like that. And you'll see how this works here in a second. I'm going to go into the blueprints screen here, and you guys will be able to get an idea of, exactly what this is all about. So you have K9, the spider, and the ape. The K9 is Mac, and you see you've got different parts. So you've got like the waist, the hind legs, the forelegs, the head, things like that. And they all have different attributes and bonuses, and if you complete a set, you get special bonuses and things like that. And these are your core bots. You have different loadouts, and this is where once you create a part, you can come here and then equip that part, as you can see here. So like for instance, I don't know if I have a set completed here. It looks like I might, but yeah, actually I do. So it tells you on the bottom right, see where it says bonuses. So since I have a complete set, it's going to give me certain bonuses, and things like that. Core Fusion, this allows you to basically level up each of your robots using the elements you find in the game, which you can see in the top right corner, which you have red element, yellow element, and blue element. They don't really represent like fire, water, or anything like that. So I guess they're really not an element. They're just kind of like, I don't know the best way to describe it, but yeah. So anyway, you can level them up and things like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go out into the overworld itself, so you guys can see the open worldness of the game, just kind of cycling through some of the menus so you can see what you can collect in your crew and things like that. Once you get all the three core of the core bots, you can kind of choose, and you'll see here which companions, etc. you want to take with you. Now we transition into the open world part, and there's the map, and you can see there's several different things on the map. Now what I don't like about ReCore is that it is a very beautifully designed open world, and you can tell the graphics look amazing on here. However, the world itself just feels really empty. I understand this is Far Eden, and it was a planet that was to be terraformed and things like that, but it's just still very empty. Now you can see here, this is one of the gameplay mechanics when you fight some of the other evil core bots. You try to take their core from them, which you see that I did just there. Now, how this gameplay works is kind of like Mega Man. So, if you see like a red life bar over an enemy, you want to use the bottom left corner of the D-pad there to choose the red firing mode on your gun. You only get one gun, by the way. There's no other weapons that Joel gets. That is it. Now, as you progress through the game, you'll be able to use the blue firing mode, the red firing mode, yellow, and etc. And as you can see, I'm going to go pick up a collectible here, and there's all these little voice messages scattered throughout the game to give you a lot of backstory and things like that. There are some challenge areas that are timed, and like you have to beat the entire map within like say 4 minutes, which some of those are pretty hard. The game itself, this is what you see is what you get. I mean, this is basically what your combat is going to consist of. Now, don't get me wrong, I think this game is really fun. Maybe the first couple 2-3 hours playing the game. After a while though, it does get kind of repetitive, and it's kind of like watching a movie that first it's kind of good, then you get into the middle and it gets kind of bad, and you're just kind of like, well, I guess I need to go ahead and finish this because I want to see what the climax is and what happens at the end. Now, I will tell you this, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but it is one of those games where like you kind of need to get a certain number of prismatic cores in order to actually beat the game, because when I got to what I thought was the end boss, I was wrong. And I didn't have enough prismatic cores, and honestly, I haven't finished this game because I just don't care to go back and grind through to get the necessary amount of prismatic cores it takes to actually get to the very end of the game. So this is going to sit in my backlog for a while. I mean, there's so many games out right now. As you know, Battlefield 1 just came out. There's a whole bunch of other games that are going to probably get my attention. Not to say that I'll never finish this game. I want to finish the game. I want to see what happens. I want to see, what goes on. But, yeah. So basically how Joel got here was her dad's a very famous scientist, and she was put in cryosleep, and she wakes up 200 years later to find herself in the middle of this planet that has been somewhat sort of terraformed, but never got finished. There's these evil core bots that were created, and I won't go into that plot detail, but when you play the game, you'll figure it out. The game is only $39.99 though, which is a pretty heck of a deal, considering it's only $40 for a game like this that has a lot of gameplay in it. So really, if you're looking for a good game and you don't want to spend $60 and you want some exploration and some challenging, very challenging gameplay features, I recommend picking this up. You can't rent it. You can buy it on disc. It is $40, probably $30 used, I would imagine. It is only a single player game, no multiplayer at all. And the good news is if you buy it, you'll have it on Windows. So if you don't want to play on your Xbox, you can go to your computer and play this. They had to do a lot of graphic updates and things like that to this game because the loading times were really, really bad at first. So as this review, I'm going to review the current state that the game is in. The loading times are much better, but they're still just a little bit longer than what I would prefer. So, but at first, if I was reviewing this game in its original state, I would not like it at all or not like it for the sheer fact that the loading times were way, way too long. But anyway, thanks for checking out my review today of this game. I'm going to try to do some more. I know I say this a lot, but I'll try to do some more reviews on my channel here. Thank you guys, as always, for taking the time to watch my reviews. I hope you guys have had fun watching this review of ReCore. As always, hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys so so much for watching. And until next time, see ya!